Hi guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Marilyn and my channel's Making with Marilyn. Now just recently, Heat Transfer Warehouse reached out to people in its affiliate program and it asked if we wanted to participate in a Days of Christmas event. So for that, I created a template. Now you can either use it as a rhinestone template or you can make faux rhinestones out of holographic HTV. So they sent to me a shirt, red holographic HTV, gold holographic HTV, and crystal holographic HTV. Now the design that I made says Christmas, it has a cross for the T, and it has some lines under it. So you can either use this template for rhinestones or for these faux rhinestones. What I'm going to show you on this video is how to use it for faux rhinestones. Now I'm going to cut my holographic vinyl in Cricut, and so I've opened Cricut Design Space and I want to show you something. This is a screenshot of my file, and notice it says Christmas HTW for Heat Transfer Warehouse, and when I bring this in it should be 11.495 inches wide and 6.201 inches high. If you're going to use this as a rhinestone template for SS10 rhinestones, that is very, very important. If you're going to cut it out of the holographic vinyl for faux rhinestones, it's not so important. But for purposes of showing how you could do both, I'm going to go ahead and make sure it comes in at this size. Now it likely won't, and I'll probably have to change the size, and I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to say upload so I can upload my design. Then upload image. Now I can either browse and go find it, or I see it over here, so I'll just drag it over. So I drop it in there and it comes in. Now this is already an SVG. It's already a cut file, and I made it so that it would come in easily. So this should not take much time at all to bring in. It looks good. So I'll click on upload. Once it's in my uploads, I just click on it and I say add to canvas. All right, so it came in close, 11.5. That is very, very close. Look up here though. It really did come in at 11.495 by 6.201. I'm going to go ahead and lock that. Now that is not always typical. So make sure when you bring a file in, if you want it to be the size it was intended to be, and again, that's really important if it's rhinestones, make sure it's the right size here. If it's not, unlock it, have the right width here, the right height here, and then you're fine. So I have 3 images in this grouping. I have the cross, I have the word, and I have these little dots down here. So I'm going to go right up here and I'm going to say ungroup. All right, let's click off of this. All right, they're still grouped together. Let's say ungroup. Let's see if it worked that time. Okay, now it truly is ungrouped. You see the cross is 1, Christmas is 1, and this is 1. So I'm really ready to make this. I'm going to go ahead and say make it. And it has me starting with the silver dots. So that was the crystal holographic HTV that Heat Transfer Warehouse sent me. I'll go ahead and put that on a mat and send it through my Cricut. I did a test cut in the crystal color and I did a test cut in the red color. It's always a great idea to do that. Now let me show you the settings I'll use. So I'll say continue. And then I'm going to say browse all materials, and I'll just type in holographic. It's this holographic iron-on right here, so I'll select it and I'll say done. Now, one thing I didn't do is I did not mirror anything. So let me go right over here and say edit. I'll click on the mirror, say done. Then when I cut these two, I'm going to have to do the same. So just remember, when you're using an iron-on, unless it's the type that uses a mask and you pick it up and put it right back down, you need to mirror your design. All right, so my Cricut light's flashing. Let's go ahead and start this cut. So I started with the crystal holographic HTV, and look at me showing off, showing you that I actually did a test cut. I did the crystal holographic HTV first, then I did the red, and then I did the gold. Between these three designs, the Cricut cut just barely over 1,100 circles, and it took about 30 minutes to do. All right, it's the moment of truth, so let me go ahead and peel this last piece off. I really think these cut well, but we'll find out. Then I want to cut around each of these designs just so that I conserve paper. Now you just want to make sure you don't accidentally cut through your design. And that can happen fairly easily. Ask me how I know. All right, so this is the cross one. And that really does look like a good cut. I hope it is. All right, typically with heat transfer vinyl, it weeds very, very easily. Let's see if this is the same. And it is. Look at that coming up. Now, you want to go slow though. You don't want to just rip it off, because if you have any of these that aren't staying down, maybe they're stuck in the cut, you could push it down, hold it down with your weeding tool, and then pull this up. If I had another hand, it would help. Pull this up while you're holding the holographic vinyl down. In my case, looks like I don't need to do that. All right, isn't that beautiful HTV? I love that. Now here's the part from that we'll use. So let's see how Christmas weeds. Again, I can see the cut through it. It's probably hard for you to see, but I can see it. Just like the last one, I don't expect this to give me any trouble. Look how easily that's coming off. I think that's causing an issue. There we go. Now you can see it. All right. Hopefully I didn't lose any of those dots. I don't think I did. I'm going to kind of look before I just peel this away. I think it looks good. So here's the word Christmas. And then the last one is this crystal holographic vinyl. And you can kind of see the cuts a little bit easier from the back side, so you might want to flip it over when you're cutting away the excess. Now, if you wanted to, you could always put a weeding box around this. That's where you have the machine cut a box around it. That's like the efficient way to do it. All right, I think I got to start there. I think my weeding tool has issues. And that's weeding out perfectly as well. All right, so we have our 3 layers, and you're going to see these better when I lay them on the shirt. But we have the lines, we have the word Christmas, and then we have the cross. So let's go ahead and get our shirt over here. Now for today, I'm going to use my Cricut Easy Press 2 so you can see everything right here. And then under my shirt, I have this mat that goes on a heat press. I ordered this as a replacement mat for one of mine off of Amazon, so you can get these individually. You don't have to buy a heat press for them. But to me, they give you a lot of pressure under your shirt. I've already lint rolled it once, but I see some little white specks on there. And then I also preheated it for 2 reasons. I wanted to remove moisture and get a nice smooth surface. Now, when I looked at Heat Transfer Warehouse instructions for this material, it said heat it at 320 degrees for 15 to 20 seconds. Since I'm doing 3 presses, I'm going to go with 15 seconds. Also, it's a cold peel. Now, I want to start with the word Christmas, but before I press it, I want to make sure that I have it low enough because the cross has to go in there. So first I'm going to determine the elevation. And even though the cross isn't down 3 inches from here, the bulk of the design is down quite a bit further than that. So I think I will go with about right there. Now I'm just going to lay this down so that when I put Christmas back down, I know the elevation, because what I didn't do is I didn't find the center of this. I can do that by putting the ends of the design together and then just making a little crease in the middle. Then I want that crease to be right in the middle of the collar. Now it looks a little crooked to me, so before I press it down, I want to just kind of pull this right side down a little bit, and then I think it needs to slide to the left just a tiny bit. Now my cross is going to be off-centered. I either have to center the cross, then the word and everything's off-centered. I'd rather center the whole design and have the cross just a little bit off-centered. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on there. I want to see if it covers the whole design. And it does. So I'll press the start button and I'm going to put some pretty good pressure on this. Now remember I said this is a cold peel, so we're just going to have to wait between each layer. I tend to take a tile and lay it on things when I'm being impatient. That pulls the heat out of what you're pressing and it allows it to cool down much quicker. Much more quickly. All right, let's do that a little bit longer. That feels pretty good. Now, I didn't do the full 20 seconds, I did 15, so let's make sure it's going to stay down. And it is. It's staying down just perfectly fine. So now I think I might be able to do the cross and the lines together in the next press. Let's go ahead and line the cross up. And I want it so it's kind of down below the word Christmas, and I'll show you why. You can see there's a divot right there built into it. But right now, I need to trim around this so that I get good heat and good pressure, and I get all these against the shirt, not against the backing. So I'll go ahead and trim around this pretty closely. Now you don't have to do these in all different colors. You could do them all the same color. Then you wouldn't have to do it in 3 presses. You wouldn't have to trim this. But I really wanted to see what it would look like in the 3 colors. All right, so we'll put that down and then do a little reality check by putting this over it. I need to make sure that none of my holographic vinyl is on top of that. I'm going to trim it just a tiny bit more. Now, I don't want my heat press directly on this vinyl that's no longer covered. So right there, I'm going to go ahead and put this Teflon sheet. Now this time, I'm going to go ahead and do it for 20 seconds. I'll just have to count. When that gets down to 0, I'll count 5 more seconds. We'll use this tile again to cool it down. You don't have to do this. You can just use good old-fashioned patience. Now, after I peel this off, I'm going to go ahead and do one more press for about 10 more seconds. Isn't that beautiful? I think that is stunning. All right, let's do that last press. Now, if you have a heat press, I recommend use that because you're going to get such good even pressure. But I want you to know you can still do these types of things even without a heat press. All right, so they're all covered. I'll go ahead and do this one more time and then we're done. So if you like the look of rhinestones, but you haven't gotten into them yet, you can use this holographic vinyl to make faux rhinestones. Now I'm going to put links to the 3 vinyls that I used in the video description. They have other colors as well that you could use, but for a Christmas shirt, I thought these were beautiful, and I just love how this shirt turned out. Let me give you one last close look. Super pretty. Again, you can do this with the faux rhinestones, or you can use it as a template and do real rhinestones. So thank you so much, Heat Transfer Warehouse, for including me in your 12 days of Christmas. If you'd like to download this design or any of the designs that the other people contributed, I'm also going to put a link to that in the video description. So thank you so much for joining me, and until my next video, bye-bye.